In the fall of 1982, Chicago woke up to what seemed like a normal morning. The city was cold, busy, and alive, the way it always was in late September. But what started as a single death in a quiet suburban home would soon unravel into one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in American history. It all began on September 29th. 12-year-old Mary Kellerman woke up early for school. She had a bit of a sore throat, nothing unusual for a child in the Midwest fall. Her father handed her a capsule of Extra-Strength Tylenol, the most trusted painkiller in the country. She swallowed it. Moments later, she collapsed. Her parents called for help, but by the time she reached the hospital, Mary was gone. The doctors were baffled. There was no sign of trauma, no warning, no reason. That same morning, miles away, a man named Adam Janus, a 30-something postal worker from Arlington Heights, called in sick from work. He wasn't feeling well, maybe the flu. He took some Tylenol too. Within minutes, he was on the floor, dead. When Adam's family rushed to his home to console his wife, they did what many families would do. They looked for Tylenol to ease their own headaches from crying. Adam's brother and sister-in-law each took one capsule, and then both of them collapsed too. 3 deaths, same day, same brand of painkiller. By the time the third person died, panic began to spread. The police had no clue what was happening. It wasn't until medical examiners tested the Tylenol capsules that the truth emerged. Each pill had been laced with potassium cyanide, a poison so deadly that even a few milligrams could kill a person within minutes. The discovery triggered an immediate public alert. Officers began racing from pharmacy to pharmacy, literally shouting warnings through megaphones. "Don't take Tylenol. Throw it away." Stores began clearing shelves. News channels broke the story wide open. And what followed was absolute chaos. Over the next few days, more victims appeared. A mother of 3, a flight attendant, a young woman about to be married, all of them dead within minutes of swallowing Tylenol. In total, 7 people lost their lives in Chicago and surrounding suburbs. But here's the terrifying part. There was no pattern. The victims didn't know each other. The bottles came from different stores, different batches, even different towns. It seemed random. Someone out there was opening bottles of Tylenol, lacing random capsules with cyanide, and putting them back on the shelves for anyone to buy. No fingerprints, no cameras, no way to trace it. The FBI called it an act of pure terror, and in a way, it was the first modern act of domestic bioterrorism. Investigators scoured every lead. They interviewed store owners, delivery drivers, factory workers, nothing connected. Then, a few days later, a letter arrived at Johnson & Johnson headquarters, the company behind Tylenol. It was from someone claiming responsibility. The writer demanded $1 million to stop the killings. He signed it. James W. Lewis. Police quickly tracked Lewis down. He was living in New York, far from Chicago. When they caught him, he didn't deny writing the letter, but he claimed it was all an attempt to extort money. He said he had nothing to do with the actual poisonings. He served time for extortion, but not for murder, because there was no evidence he ever touched those bottles. Decades later, detectives would admit that Lewis probably just saw the panic and used it for his own gain. But that still left the question, who actually killed those people? The Tylenol murders changed America forever. Johnson & Johnson recalled 31 million bottles of Tylenol, costing over $100 million. A massive loss, but a necessary one. They also completely redesigned how medicine was packaged. Those little foil seals, plastic wraps, and tamper-evident caps you see today all came from this tragedy. Forensic experts tried everything from tracing chemical markers in the cyanide to analyzing store distribution routes. Even the FBI's behavioral unit got involved. They built a profile, someone methodical, local to Chicago, and driven by anger or chaos. But nothing ever stuck. Every year since, people have tried to solve it. Documentaries, cold case teams, even amateur sleuths online have all taken their turns at the mystery. Some point back to James Lewis, others suspect a disgruntled employee. A few even think it was a random act, a madman who wanted to watch the world panic. Whoever it was, they changed the way America trusted the products on its shelves. They proved that something as harmless as a painkiller could become a weapon in the wrong hands. And maybe the scariest part is this: it could happen again. Because despite 40 years of investigation, no one has ever been charged with the Tylenol murders. The killer, if still alive, has been out there, free, blending into everyday life. Maybe even watching the stories about what they did, smiling quietly. In a city like Chicago, where millions rush through their day without a second thought, it's easy to forget how fragile safety really is. But on that September morning in 1982, 7 people swallowed the same trusted medicine millions had taken before them and paid the ultimate price for it. Their stories are a reminder that sometimes evil doesn't need a reason. Sometimes it only needs opportunity.